Hey friends, this is Nick and I call my channel DZ Performance, and I appreciate you tuning in. The motor package that I'm bringing you today is my GM Performance Parts HO 454 short block. It has a GM ZZ 502 cam in it. The camshaft that's installed in the GM Performance Parts 502 cubic inch 502 horsepower. They also use that cam in the 427 480 horsepower big block Chevy. The comparison that I'm going to do and bring you is the Airflow Research 265 fully CNC ported cylinder heads versus a set of average rebuilt 781s. They have a minor bowl blend, pocket porting, and just clean up and a good valve job in comparison to the 265s. I've got dyno testing and engine startup stand that I'm going to share with you, and then I'll come back and give you all the specs on the motor, top to bottom, bottom to top, and show you the dyno sheets. Barrel had a hard time coming open, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Now this is a cylinder head comparison in between the Airflow Research 265 fully CNC ported cylinder heads versus a set of rebuilt 781s. The 781s are milled to the approximately the same combustion chamber size of a 113. The 781s have the factory size valve, the 207 on the intake and the 172 on the exhaust. So let me go over the short block that we'll be using on this project. I've told you about this before in previous videos, but I'll go over it again. It is a GM Performance Parts HO 454. The only upgrade that I've done from the specs of the factory GM HO short block 454 cubic inch is ARP rod bolts. That's the only thing I've changed or improved, and they're 3/8 rod bolts. It's a Gen 6 block, 4-bolt main, windage tray. It's got a truck oil pan on it. It's a forged steel, externally balanced 454 crank. It's got forged steel rods in it by GM, and it has forged pistons with a 10.5 cc dome. And they are, once again, GM Performance Parts. The camshaft is the ZZ 502 cam. That's the cam that they originally installed in the 502 cubic inch motors and the 427 ZZ Performance motors. This motor package does not come, or short block does not come with a cam. If you buy it from Jegs or Summit or whatever supplier that you get these from. Currently, they're somewhere around $5,800. Sometimes they're in stock, sometimes they're not. But the comparison that we're doing is the 781s versus the Airflow Research cylinder heads. Now, the 781s are just a basic bowl blend pocket port. They've got a nice valve job on them with Manley valves. They are, once again, the stock valves, 207 intake and a 172 exhaust. And I've showed you this dyno test before, but I like the numbers on this. There's the specs on the cam. Once again, I've went over those in previous videos. But the horsepower that we got with the Airflow Research was the 571 horse and the 564 foot-pounds of torque. For a 9.3 compression motor, that's what it is with both of these cylinder heads. And it was tested with a 770 brawler. I was really happy with that. I thought that was a nice output. And I'm not disappointed with the 781s for the cost at all. They made 515 horsepower and 546 foot-pounds of torque. That is a 56 less horsepower, but I have nearly $2,000 less money in the 781s than I do in the Airflow Research heads. You know, for $2,000, I could stroke this motor to a 496 and blow away those Airflow Research heads on torque and horsepower. So it's just where you want to spend your money and how you want to spend it. This is a comparison that I had one of my friends out there that made a comment on one of my videos. He asked for me to run an Edelbrock carburetor that I use on the engine startup stand videos, just because it's easy and I have the lines hooked up to it. I start up a lot of motors, so I wanted to do it. And this is just right out of the box, an Edelbrock 800. Basically, it makes 505 horsepower and 530. That's a negative 10 horsepower and approximately a little more than 10 foot-pounds of torque. That's out of the box. I know this carburetor was not jetted for optimum performance, but I had a request to try it, so it'd only take one pull to do it, so I did it. To be fair to the 770 brawler that I use for a lot of testing on lower 500 horsepower motors, that carburetor's almost out of the box. It's got one size smaller jets in the front and back, smaller. So that carburetor doesn't have a ton of tuning. The reason I ran a 770 brawler on the 781s and the Airflow Research 265s, the Airflow Research 265s are fully CNC ported, of course. I had run the Airflow Research a year ago with that combination, and I just wanted to keep it all the same. I believe that if I ran my 1000 CFM Pro systems, that it seems like it usually beats most carburetors by 7 to 9 horsepower. I think we could have got more pretty numbers, but I was just keeping it the same and keeping it, more real, economical carburetor on this. But so basically 56 horsepower difference in between the Airflow Research and the 781s. This motor's pretty much run its test with me. I've taken it to dyno 3 times, and it'll currently be for sale. If you look at the description on the end of my video, you can see the price and specs on it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.